this week on the Bachelor Finale. And now, all pause as we honor a truly remarkable Bachelor title laid to rest. Peter Weber, no longer worst Bachelor ever. Well folks, we made it. After nearly a year and a half of almost straight Bachelor content, a journey no one wanted to undertake but it had to be done, from Tayshia's season, to Matt James, to Katie's, to Bachelor in Paradise, to Michelle, to now, we have arrived. Perhaps a little worse for wear, perhaps with shittier lungs than we started out with, at least in my case, but we can finally now say,
it's done. It's over now.
And now, finally, it's time to rest. At least until The Bachelorette starts again in a couple of months. And with it being the end of truly one of the most dramatic seasons ever, with all the negativity, all the shade, it's time to give back. Something I've begun to do at the end of every season. Now, with everything that I went through last month, the scary truth is if I didn't have access to proper medical attention, I would not be here making this video right now. And with the war in Ukraine, many people right now don't have that access. Project Cure is the world's largest distributor of donated medical relief, including to Ukraine. So next to the video, you should be able to see a donate button. If you're able, please consider donating and help turn The Bachelor into something more positive. 100% of the money goes to Project Cure. I myself will be donating $500 to start us off. I'm hoping we can triple that. But alright, there's a recap to get to and a lot to cover in this two-night finale of Clayton's season. A season where Clayton was basically lobbed up an automatic happy ending, but he dropped the ball before the goal line. And this finale all begins with what Jesse Palmer calls
the rose ceremony from hell.
Yes, what follows is going to be one of the most brutal rose ceremonies to date that's going to have Clayton going,
I'm in hell! I'm burning! Help me!
You shouldn't joke about that.
So essentially, with everything that went down with Susie last week, Clayton is determined to go full open honesty and transparency with Gabby and Rachel. And that means telling them about what happened with Susie, including sleeping with both of them, and telling each of them he's in love with them. So Gabby and Rachel arrive at the rose ceremony alone going,
where's Susie? I haven't even seen Susie yet.
Which is followed by Clayton coming in to explain everything. You know, the big moment that was teased in all of the previews.
I was in love with her. And I was in love with each of you two. I am in love with both of you. And I also was intimate with both of you.
Clayton's then like, I'm here, fully open and honest, ready to answer all of your questions and talk about everything, except for the part where I told Susie I love her the most, but other than that, I'm an open book. From here, the rose ceremony goes to, well, hell. Gabby and Rachel both walk off, and Rachel goes to sob on a dirty staircase. Been there, girl, been there. All the while, her sobbing echoes through the rose ceremony while Clayton just stands there like, and worst of all, Rachel broke a nail.
I've never felt pain like this before.
Now, the part that really gets to Rachel and Gabby isn't even Clayton sleeping with both of them. Frankly, that's not nearly as touched upon as how upset they are that Clayton told pretty much everyone but Jesse Palmer that he's in love with them. As Rachel puts it, she has this amazing fantasy suite date where the two have this incredible breakthrough, making her feel totally special, only to find out that a few days later the same things were said to two other women. And as Gabby puts it when she comes back to speak with Clayton, she was cool with Clayton exploring things with the other women, she wanted him to do that and know that he still chose her, but fully being in love with someone is not, quote, exploring. So she wants to know how she can trust his proclamations of love when he's saying the same thing to the other women. To which Clayton responds, well, these are real feelings, but ultimately there will only be one love at the end.
Which is great if I'm at the end, but what if I'm not? Then I'm just supposed to stop? Like, how would you feel in my position?
Which is a great point because Clayton has not been in her position. Maybe that would have been a good perspective to have before becoming the lead.
For him saying, like, the woman I walk out with is the woman I love the most, like, wrong answer.
Next, Clayton speaks to Rachel, who's starting to throw up walls now that her worst fears have come true this week and she feels like she's nothing special. And all through this rose ceremony from hell, she's constantly swinging back and forth from sobbing to, but I'm still in love with him.
Like, I'm so in love with you.
Okay, this woman's been sobbing her eyes out for an hour now, and all they could get her are the creepy brown paper towels from my middle school bathroom? Yikes. Well, Clayton begs Rachel to trust him and stay, and eventually Gabby and Rachel both return to continue the rose ceremony. Rachel's up first.
Rachel, will you accept this rose?
I will.
So, Rachel's in. Next, it's Gabby's turn, and when Clayton goes to give her the last rose, her response had everyone watching like,
Gabby, will you accept this rose?
I can't. I'm sorry.
Gabby pulls a deep D from Love is Blind, and Rachel is suddenly like, wait, what, does that mean I win? Well, Clayton chases after Gabby and begs her to stay as well, saying he sees something with her and he wishes he had a crystal ball and can tell her he knows how this all ends, but he doesn't. Something I also wish he had, cause I do know how it ends. But Gabby is tired of all this talk about who will be the most loved of all the people he's said he loves.
I don't want to be the most loved. I just, like, want to be, like, accepted and loved. Because love comes in, like, you can't measure it.
Meanwhile, Rachel is back on the floor crying, feeling like she's the last one left, but not because Clayton chose her, and this is just a mess. Eventually, Gabby returns, and this beautiful moment happens.
I'm sorry to make you wait. Stop it. Are you okay? Yeah.
So far, this is the best love story I've seen all season. But with both women back, Clayton tries one more time with Gabby.
Gabby, will you accept this rose?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. So with that done, we now move on to Gabby and Rachel meeting Clayton's family. The first part of which I couldn't really focus on because I was mainly trying to figure out which of Clayton's brothers was the one who slid into Teddy's DMs.
Clayton's brother did reach out to me. I didn't reply.
But then, Clayton's dad took center stage, who, after hearing about the Susie debacle and the rose ceremony from hell, is like,
I think you've got to step back and say they have a right to be upset with you. You have screwed the pooch, in my opinion.
Well, Clayton went from everyone loves an underdog to you really screwed the pooch. So first to arrive is Gabby, who of course wins everyone over, and basically is here like, look, we all know everything that just happened, but I feel like I owe it to myself to see this through. And then Dad's over here like, just FYI, I'm Team Gabby on this one.
You've got that challenge of what transpired last night, and you did walk away, and I respect that, honestly.
Wow, the dads and granddads this season have truly been top-notch. So the next day, it's Rachel's turn to meet the family, which starts off with this weird moment.
I'm really happy to finally meet you guys, and this place is so beautiful.
Oh, I know. My parents found it on Airbnb.
No way!
It's a beautiful view out there.
Yeah, Iceland's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
Alright, first of all, production found this place, and they probably got to live there rent-free as long as they mentioned on air that you can find this place on Airbnb. But more importantly, why does this shot look staged? Like, the set is moving, but the image behind it is not. This has gotta be faked. Like, I now believe this is not the view you're gonna get if you stay here. But alright, where was I? Right, Rachel. So, yada yada yada, it all goes well, and that's not important. What is right after Rachel goes, Clayton starts to have a change of heart.
I'm questioning everything. I've realized that, like, through meeting my family, it didn't stop me from thinking about Susie. I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do.
So Clayton tells his family that he still wants to be with Susie, even though they try to smack some sense into him.
She made that choice to walk,
She never stopped listening, though. I did.
She made
She
the
didn't turn
choice.
around. She didn't fight.
She made the choice
She
to
talked
walk.
all the way until I opened the door for her and told her to go.
At which point, Jesse Palmer comes in with some news for Clayton.
Clayton, Susie's still in Iceland.
I didn't realize she was still here, so again, I just want one more shot.
Well, at this point, the show then cuts to the live studio where Caitlin, Bristow, Rodney, and Cassie? Wow, okay, are all there. And Jesse Palmer asks if Cassie has any advice for Susie.
I know this is unique for you. You have an interesting perspective on this based on what happened between you and Colton. If Clayton does decide to pursue Susie, what should Susie do?
Oof.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out! Yo! Yo, chill, man. Get out! Chill, man!
So that's it for part 1 of the 2-part finale for Clayton's season. I'm going to be splitting this into 2 videos as I'm still taking things rather slow right now. So keep your eyes peeled for part 2 coming out later this week, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. Things are only going to get worse for Clayton from here, so until next video, Bachelor Fantake out.
I'm in hell! I'm burning! Help me!
You shouldn't joke about that.